morning. Oh, wow. We are on Morning Boost 29. So I am Emmy with Blissfully Healthy Wellness Coaching, specializing in helping clients heal and overcome emotional eating and develop new healthy habits around food. And today we are going to be talking about a common question that I get, which is, how long will it take to overcome and heal this emotional eating, stress eating thing? Excuse me. So as a reminder, emotional eating doesn't necessarily have to be what a lot of people associate emotional eating and binge eating as the same thing. So binge eating is going to be eating a large amount of food in one time in just a short couple of hours, probably. I believe the DSM-5 diagnoses that as about 3,500 calories, I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly. And that can absolutely be the case. That was my case. And it can also be, emotional eating can be eating a few cookies instead of having just one, or just grazing all day on snacks and crackers or cookies or whatever it might be. So it can be little bits. But what is the key thing here is how you feel about what you're eating. Hi, Ruth. Good morning. So glad you're here. So let's make sure we have a clear understanding of what emotional eating in blissfully healthy land, and we really can also say that as stress eating. Okay, so how long will it take to overcome that? And the answer is going to be dependent on how willing you are to just dive into this process and how high your motivation is. I have a couple of clients that just got started, and the level of willingness. Hi, Nadia. So glad you're here. The willingness to dive in to using the tools and to feel, to learn how to feel and to learn how to be with those uncomfortable emotions and walk through the mental and the emotional processes to feel and then release those feelings, is what is going to help clients overcome this faster. So the overall answer to this question is a little bit annoying. I'm gonna be honest, and my answer is it takes as long as it takes. And when my mentor said that to me when I was first in this process over about 13 years ago, 13 years ago, I was like, what? No, I want this to be over now. I want to heal it now. How can I just feel better now? And I so get that. So you can have emotional freedom and clarity and releasing those urges and cravings quickly by diving into using the emotional tools. Hi, Jennifer. So glad you're here. Hi, love. So that's really dependent. And I have other clients where we actually need to build up the emotional resiliency first. So diving into those past traumas and what developed the emotional eating is more harmful than helpful for those women who may not be there, and maybe they're actually living through a lot of chaos and stress and maybe even some trauma in their current life right now. And so Ruth says, wow, I looked at it as if it was willingness to restrict food. Oh, wow, that's so great. That's so great. I love that clarity. Yes, the overcoming the emotional eating, it's not about restricting food at all. In fact, it's about getting to a place where you're not restricting food anymore, and you're having that freedom around not wanting the food in the first place. So thank you, Nadia. Thanks for popping on. I love it. Love, love, love it. So we want to get rid of that restricting. And so restricting eating is actually one of those signs of more of going to lead to emotional eatings. There's a lot of studies that really do prove that when a person diets and restricts foods, that actually leads to, it's like a precursor. It very much is a precursor to developing emotional eating, stress eating, or disordered eating. And so that's why we want to get down into those roots around why it is I want to restrict food. I cannot get my worthiness from being thin. I cannot get my worthiness from eating perfectly. I cannot get my worthiness from being perfect. Those are unattainable and unattainable and not going to happen, because sometimes we're going to have cookies. Sometimes we're going to have pizza. Sometimes we're going to have an indulgence, and we want to get to that place where we eat it without guilt and with presentness, and we're able to decipher and differentiate when we're ready to stop and pause and be done, because I'm not feeling compelled to eat it all right now, because I know I can have it later in the day. I can have more tomorrow. I can have more each and every day. So that mindset helps to let go of the restriction. Excuse me. And let go of that. So the more that you are ready to let go of restricting, I'm glad that's coming up, the faster you are going to heal and overcome emotional eating. But as long as we stay in that tug of war and trying to control and trying to restrict, guess what? We are going to struggle more with food, and stress eating is going to happen. Once you have stressors happen, it's going to get to that that screw it emotional eating of, life is so difficult, screw it, I'm just going to eat anything and everything, or the I deserve it type of eating. So go back to those 9 types of emotional eating and take a look at those. Hi Lisa, so glad you joined. Love that you're here. So this is really the answer, and as annoying as it is, the more that you are willing to dive into that. I've had clients reach a level of huge freedom in 6 months of weekly coaching. Excuse me. I've seen clients receive huge freedom within just a short time, in around 6 months. But here's the reality. Most clients that I work with, they've been dieting or stress eating or emotional eating for decades. So it's not realistic to expect you're just going to sign up for a boot camp or 6 weeks or 8 weeks and it's going to be all gone. It's going to, that urge and that desire to want to use food to cope and get joy or numb out, it's not going to just fall away in just a few short weeks. It will be a great start if you're going into a philosophy like we have here in Blissfully Healthy Land. But let's face that reality and set realistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations really keeps a lot of the emotional eating alive. And so I want to teach you how to do that. And that's something we walk through in the Living Blissfully Healthy program, of how to set realistic expectations in every area of life. So it's life coaching. We talk about anything and everything in life, because what affects your food affects your whole life, and your whole life affects your food. We talk about that, and really we develop a mental fitness around how your thinking processes are and the emotional tools. So we really have to dive into that to do it. So yes, you can get a lot of freedom quickly. You can get immediate relief with the current, like if you have a desire to emotionally eat, you can use one of the emotional tools that we talk about in the Living Blissfully Healthy program, and literally within seconds, within a minute, you can feel the urge for that emotional eating desire to just fall away, which is so beautiful. And that's why we do group coaching and private coaching. And we have these tools so you can use them for the rest of your life. We want to create new healthy habits, one new habit at a time, that builds upon creating a whole new lifestyle that you do for the rest of your life and is realistic. So it's going to take as long as it takes. I know that's super annoying, but I promise you, the more that you're willing to take that weight loss and put it on the back burner, the more that you're willing to take that restricting food, put it on the back burner, and focus on why emotional eating and stress eating is happening for you. Use the emotional tools, being willing to sit and feel your feelings, because it actually feels better to release them, so much better. The more you're going to be able to have that freedom quicker, within weeks, meaning like 24 weeks, 6 months. And I have clients that stick on longer for more of that maintenance level. So I hope that answers you. Before we go, I'm just so thrilled to be offering these morning boosts, these coaching sessions for you for absolutely free. So I hope you will tap into them. Tomorrow is our last one. Oh my goodness. And I would love to ask for a favor. I would love to ask you for a favor. So if if you have any burning desires of like, please talk about this, or any challenges that I haven't talked about yet, please comment below about what that is. You can even private message me. You're welcome to do that if you want it to be more confidential. And you can contact me at blissfullyhealthy.com also and send me a message there. But I would love to hear from you. What would you like me to chat about in our last morning boost tomorrow? What would be of service to you? What is something you might be struggling with? What is a question that you have that would really serve you and help you with feeling better in your journey? So let me know what those questions are. I would love, love, love to hear from you. I would deeply appreciate that. It's our last one tomorrow. It is morning boost number 30 tomorrow. So please send me messages, swarm my inbox, and I would love to hear from you. And it's been so awesome. I hope this is a helpful concept for you today. And excuse me. And until we chat again tomorrow morning, you are invited, say it with me, to stop dieting and start living, because a blissfully healthy lifestyle does not have an expiration date, and you are worth it. And I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bye.